Hello and welcome to another EnsoVN gaming video, and it's time for another raid video. We're actually finally getting some new content on global, and there's another global exclusives for some reason, and it's Shanks and Mihawk. They're really good for slasher teams, but they're actually really hard to get. It's like one of the hardest raids, I think might be the hardest raid so far we've got on global. His captain ability when hit a dual unit is boost the attack of slasher characters by ×3, reduces damage taken by 20%, and makes TND and ICV all matching for slashers. It's obviously a really strong effect, especially for a free-to-play unit. Actually does the same boost as freaking 6+ Legend Zoro, so that's pretty crazy. His special is also pretty good, reduces bind, silence, and attack down by 2 turns, which is always nice. And if you're below 50% when you use the special, delays enemies for 2 turns and then boosts damage against delayed enemies by 1.75 times for 2 turns, which is really strong. Obviously delay is not the best one to use because a lot of things have delay protection, but when you can use it's pretty nice. But obviously the getting below 50% is also super annoying, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. So before we actually fight him, let's just look at the team I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using a double 6+ NL team. It's almost a zombie team, but it's not as slow. It's actually reasonably fast. I think I did beat it in like 5 minutes, I think. So it's not that slow. You really only have to like take a couple hits on stage 4, and everything else you kind of just clear as it goes. The team is pretty replaceable. You're going to have to use 6+ lore pretty much no matter what to deal with stage 5. Actually, it's not impossible. You just have to use more healers and tankers. That's pretty much the only thing you have to bring. Have 6+ NL. 2 of them at least, and then just bring healers and tankers, and you should be able to just get to the final stage and use their specials. The final stage is probably the hardest thing, and then the reason why a lot of people are using like a pseudo zombie team, they put on so many debuffs that you have to deal with, mostly like paralysis, despair, and that makes it really hard for a lot of teams to deal with, to like have enough of that like debuff removal as well as doing like 11 million damage. Plus getting through a barrier, it's just insane. So if you have 6+ now, rejoice, because it's a great time to use them. And if you don't, you can still use some other zombie teams. It's not the end of the world. But with all that said, let's get started. So on the first 3 stages, you pretty much just want to keep trying to heal off meat orbs. You need to heal 200,000 over heal to get to the max 5 million damage on each NL. Obviously on turn 1 you can get all rainbow orbs if you're using Shirahoshi. But you still have plenty of turns, so there's a nice 1,000 there. Only 190,000 to go. Obviously you want to kill the dudes with good barriers, because if they attack they will bind your orbs for 15 turns I think, which pretty much ruins the run, since you no longer get any meat orbs and you'll just lose like pretty much immediately. The tiles actually do a decent amount of damage, considering you lose a lot of HP from having double NL. Yeah, to 4,500, that's like a third of your HP. Obviously annoying, but like you see their 1 meat orb like healed pretty much to full. On turn 2 you're gonna face off against Mihawk. He will cut your HP by a lot. It's like 70% or something crazy like that. But then he does disappear, but he does paralyze your crew for 2 turns, which is pretty annoying. Just hope you don't have too bad of like CDs on this stage. I don't think they can start with 1 CD, but they might do, I'm not too sure. Obviously with this team, Robin will not be paralyzed at all, since she has a limit broken captain sailor ability. It means that she's immune, makes it slightly easier. I'm not gonna really waste time stalling on those dudes, plus they do a crap ton of damage. So we're just gonna wait out these guys though. I'd say tanking 1 is fine, but like taking 2 guys is a bit like too much. Then I'm getting a little bit extra overheal. You're going to get a lot of overheal from Shirahoshi and Manchuri special, so that'll probably do a lot of the heavy lifting, but you still do have to heal quite a lot by yourself to get to the 200,000. I mean, no, you probably do have to get to 200,000, because the other 2 specials from the ship and lore don't actually do all too much. Again, this is just another regular stage, just hope you get a lot of decent amount of meat orbs. Actually, gonna have to tank a hit from this stupid giant, because auto targeting sucks. Like, why do they hit 2 guys that have like a 210 CD but leave the guy that has freaking 1? I guess it kind of benefited me a little bit because I got a little bit more heal here, but this guy's gonna boost both their attacks by a heavy amount, which is super annoying, so there's no more chances to stall here. Luckily I got a crap ton of meat orbs here, so I'm just gonna actually do a decent amount of damage while healing a lot as well. Douche. There we go. Now on to stage 4, which is going to be Shanks. He has about 1.2 million HP. Attacks every turn for 6,000, but he does have resiliency for 3 turns, which is probably the most annoying thing. Just want to get him low. Might be actually better to like leave him not on 1 HP once the resiliency runs out, because then you can get some hits. Actually, no, never mind. You'll see why. Yeah, you just want to get him to 1 HP as soon as possible. Obviously, trying to get as many meat orbs on those great hits to heal up. And the reason I'm saying don't leave him too low, because after resiliency runs out, he gives himself a barrier, and the only way you can get through that is with Law's sailor ability to just penetrate through barriers, like the one time it's actually useful. Yeah, I'm gonna get smashed up again. He also gives you all block orbs. So we're gonna use Shirahoshi for a crap ton of overheal there, because that was like 76 and our max is freaking like 13, so that was like 60,000 overheal or something, so that's a big chunk right there. And just use Law to like just smash through the barrier. Now he will revive with 30% of his HP. Also paralyzes you for 2 turns, but it doesn't really matter since we're going to use Shirahoshi. Heals up another 32,000 overheal, so those two together is like pretty much half of the work you have to do anyway. I mean, you have to hit perfect here because there's no meat orbs anyway. And on to the final stage, Mihawk and Shanks. They have about a little over 10 million HP, and they do like a bajillion debuffs. Locks your chain, not paralysis, but silence, despair, and they have a 5-hit perfect barrier. It's just freaking an ordeal, which is why a lot of people are using NL. You just use Law, so now all specials go through barriers. Use 1 NL for 5 mil damage, use 2 NL, and look at the tiny HP he has now. And I was like, oh crap, and then I remember I had the freaking NL ship, so there's 56,000, which is actually enough. So this seems pretty safe. If you have Legend Go up, it's probably a lot easier since you can use a HP cut as well, but you can just pretty much replace most people with just healers and you should be good. Well, that's it for this video. Post any other teams you have in the comments down below. Join the Discord if you like. If you're feeling generous, you can donate to the PayPal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Nakama.